I know I'm a bit late to be talking about March 18th, John Doe, but I'm a very busy, employed man, as you can see. Before I start the video, I just want to tell you that this video is actually going to be scripted, unlike my video on Friday the 13th Slasher, which you should definitely go watch. Before I start this ranking analysis, I just want to tell you how I'm going to structure my rant. First I'll be talking about March 18th John Doe's stats and abilities, and talking about how if I think they're above nerf, if I like them or not, and maybe the problems I have with them. Then I'll talk about how it feels playing against one, and then playing as them. Then I'll compare it to the past March 18th John Doe, which I unfortunately wasn't there for, but still, I'll talk about it. Also, if you have an opinion on my ranking, you can always comment down below. Challenge my argument. I encourage it. My like goal for this video is 5 likes. Not very much. And without ado, this is my thoughts on March 18th. Oh my gosh, March 18th John Doe. Now for March 18th John Doe stats. He can't run anymore, however, he walks toward you at a speed of 21 steps per second. His walk speed increases with every kill. John Doe's trailer is also much larger, covering much more of an area than before. For his unstoppable passive, it triggers any time he's stunned, so you don't need to full parry or use your spikes to parry. He'll also get speed 1, the same as his old passive, and the reduced stun time. When there's a March 18th John Doe, there will also be a pink hue on your screen. Now for his abilities. For his basic M1, it has the same windup as before, being 0.4 seconds. However, it does 40 damage. This increases by 1 per kill, being able to reach up to 48 if he kills all the survivors in the lobby. His M1 also has a higher cooldown than before. I'm not sure how long it is, but it's longer. Next, we have Corrupt Energy, which I think had the most changes made to it. First, his spikes are much larger, meaning that there probably won't be any gaps in your spikes. And then also, he spawns 256 spikes at an increased speed. Spikes also do 4 additional damage, that being 16 damage per spike, which is a lot. And they can hit pretty much infinite times, which is very good. Spikes also last for longer, lasting around 18 seconds, and also getting speed 1 when hit. MJD can also walk through his spikes, unlike regular John Doe. Now to talk about my thoughts on March 18th John Doe abilities. On paper, these changes sound like buffs, but that's unfortunately not the case in my opinion. First off, they cut my boy John's legs off. He's genuinely so slow, only moving at 21 studs per second, while survivors can move at 26 studs per second. You might say, oh, he has infinite stamina. Doesn't matter if he has infinite stamina. He's pretty much in a perpetual raging pace, minus the stunning immunity. Literally all you have to do to counter him is just stamina manage. It doesn't matter if your M1 does 40 damage when you're that slow, because you'll need to catch up to be able to hit your M1. You also might say he gets more speed every kill he gets, but that doesn't matter when you can't get any kills. They pretty much turned John into a snowball killer. The problem is, it's very hard to snowball. One stun and he loses all his distance, even if Unstoppable activates and decreasing the stun time. It only gives speed 1, and it doesn't matter because you're so slow. It's only a 2 stud increase per second, which is still very slow and not enough to make too much of a difference or make up for you losing that much distance. Then corrupt energy is just way harder to hit, in my opinion. Even if it does more damage, that it being that hard to hit, in my opinion, it just makes it worse. Because I usually use a John Doe tech where you turn around from the survivor and shift lock onto them to shoot spikes at them and give you a clear aim at your target and more accurate spiking. But with MJD John Doe, this is completely different because your spikes come out way faster. So you won't, even if you shift lock onto the survivor, it probably wouldn't hit them. This pretty much forces me to aim with my joystick, which is, for me, way less reliable. And sniping is just so much harder. And yeah, while yes, he does have better trapping capabilities, I personally play as a sniper though, so it's way harder for me. Also, even if you're trying to trap somebody with corrupt energy, it's really only going to go in one direction, because by the time you make a turn with your joystick, your spikes will already be very far, potentially off the map. So it can really only block off one direction, which is still very good, but still not the biggest fan. For digital footprint, I personally think that this is up to interpretation, but I think it's a nerf, even if it gives MJD John Doe a speed 3 if you step on it. The problem is that it's genuinely so obvious to see it that nobody's gonna step in it, because the pillar reaches as high as MJD John Doe spikes, which are taller than almost anything on the map. And the only reason that you'd step on it is maybe because you were pressured, and even then, it's not a death sentence if you step on it, because the slowness only lasts 6 seconds. But you might be saying, oh, John Doe gets speed 3. All you have to do is juke them out. And it can be hard sometimes, but again, I have 19 days in the game, so I find it way easier. Honestly, they turned John into more of a snowball killer, dealing more damage and becoming faster every single kill. It's honestly just so hard to get that kill and get that snowball, get that momentum going that you really want. But you just have to work so hard to get it. And this is the one day that he's supposed to be unbalanced and hyper buffed. And yes, while some are good buffs, honestly, it's much worse than I honestly, it's just not really a buff, in my opinion. And again, this could be me having a skill issue, but I don't care. I'm a forsaken player who complains about everything. So, yeah. So, how I would rework him, make him overpowered and stuff. Again, I'm gonna do a similar thing to the slasher one. So, first off, what I would do is I'd make John Doe's trail longer. I just want to do that because it's cool and stuff. And I'd make his unstoppable passive, instead of only giving you speed 1, make it give you speed 2 or whatever. Or maybe the amount of speed you get correlates to the amount of kills you get. So maybe you'll get speed 2 if you've gotten 2 kills. maybe you will get speed 3 when you get 6 kills. Like, that would be like an OP thing. And if you're going for like a snowball type of March 18th John, it wouldn't be overly OP. And then for corrupt energy, I would pretty much keep it the same, except make it easier to hit, honestly, because it's just way harder to hit, and it's not really that fun. Also, I'd make John be able to sprint, maybe give him like 80 stamina, but he moves at like 30, 32 movement speed, something like that. That'd be really cool. But yeah. That's really, those are my ideas for like this thing. This video was kind of rushed, honestly. I wish I did take more time, but then again, March 18th was quite a bit ago, and I didn't want to like keep people like waiting, because like it's already been a while after the update release, and I really just wanted to get a video pushed out. So have a good day. Hopefully you have a good day. Like and subscribe, maybe. You don't have to. My goal is like 5 likes. Thanks for fully watching through. Have a good day, and bye.